This week in Jamaica Now, several top Jamaican track and field stars reportedly to switch allegiance. Chicken rush, Jamaicans descend on KFC outlets for free two-piece meals. Full campaign mode, JLP leader Andrew Holness tells party representatives to get ready for national elections. And Pastor Jerffrey Shuttleworth defrocked, but he insists the Jamaica Baptist Union has only encouraged him. I'm Jovan Johnson, and this is Jamaica Now. Jamaicans were left shocked Thursday following reports that two of the country's elite throwers are set to switch allegiance to Turkey ahead of the 2028 Los Angeles Olympic Games. Several other names have been mentioned. Olympic discus gold medalist Roger Stoner and shot put bronze medalist Rajendra Campbell are reportedly among three athletes being targeted in a recruitment push by Turkey to boost its Olympic medal chances. In an exclusive interview with Television Jamaica's Keon Rayner, Under Özbilen, a consultant with Turkey's sports ministry, confirmed that the Turkish Federation is in contact with the athletes. Reports say both athletes are being offered $500,000 signing bonuses and monthly stipends, adding to concerns about a growing trend of Jamaican talent changing allegiances. But Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association President Garth Gale told the Gleaner that the reports remain allegations. He says the organization has received no official documentation. Athletes switching countries must observe a 3-year waiting period under World Athletics rules unless waived through consensus involving national committees. The government has not commented publicly on the matter, but the opposition People's National Party has described the reported defections as extremely concerning, calling it a serious loss for Jamaica and a symptom of systemic failure. PNP spokesperson on sports, Wavell Hines, said the athletes' departure underscores the urgent need for a national sports policy. Now, what began as a celebratory promotion by fast food giant KFC to mark its 50th anniversary in Jamaica erupted into scenes of disorder on Wednesday, with police being called in to manage swelling crowds and reports of altercations and damage at several locations across the island. The promotion offered a free two-piece chicken meal with the purchase of a three-piece big deal meal. It drew thousands of hungry and eager Jamaicans to KFC outlets from before sunrise, leading to long lines, bottlenecks, frayed tempers, and in some cases physical clashes. In Lincett St. Catherine, police were forced to intervene to maintain order after tensions flared outside the KFC outlet. Dozens of customers jostled for position, with some accusing others of skipping the line and disrupting the size of orders being processed inside. Squabbles broke out as customers demanded clarity about when and how they would be served, while staff struggled to keep pace with the demand. Similar scenes played out from across the country, from Montego Bay to Mandeville, Spanish Town and downtown Kingston. Social media platforms were also flooded with images and videos showing the scale of the frenzy. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has reportedly declared that the Jamaica Labour Party JLP is now in full campaign mode, signalling a ramp-up in activities ahead of the general election widely expected by September. The announcement was made during a closed-door meeting with the party's slate of prospective candidates at the JLP's Belmont Road headquarters on Tuesday. Party insiders say Mr. Holness told representatives the pre-campaign phase was over and directed them to prepare for full operational readiness. He reportedly assessed candidate preparedness and gave instructions on coordination, with public engagement set to intensify in the coming weeks. The JLP, campaigning under the theme Choose Jamaica, has been touting economic gains, including lower poverty and crime rates. Meanwhile, the opposition PNP has accused the government of neglect and corruption. Its campaign theme is Time Come. Dr. Holness has constitutional authority to call the election. And the rhetoric from the political platform has intensified. JLP Deputy Leader Desmond McKenzie declared Sunday that the party will not back down in the face of what he described as political attacks from the PNP, vowing that Labourites will stand firm behind Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. He was addressing party supporters at the JLP's constituency conference in St. Andrew East Central, where he also criticised the PNP's opposition to the appointment of accountant Dennis Chung as head of the Financial Investigations Division. And at the same meeting, Senior Cabinet Minister Delroy Chuck dismissed accusations of wrongdoing that he says have been levelled against Prime Minister Holness by the opposition PNP.
And we're going to defend the Prime Minister because I'm talking about corruption. They can't point one bit of evidence to show that the Prime Minister is involved in any illicit enrichment or corruption. and I hear Markaji talking about statutory declaration. I have read the 3 reports from the IC, and there's not one line that implicates the Prime Minister. Not one paragraph, one line that implicates the Prime Minister. I don't even know why they put out those 3 reports, because they had nothing of value in them.
And Prime Minister Holness found controversy after commenting Sunday that his administration's most constructive critics are members of his party, unlike some followers of the PNP whom he suggested are not informed.
The Jamaican Labour Party workers are not fanatics. They don't believe in following blindly. We don't really need an opposition because our supporters hold us to account. In fact, our supporters are our staunchest constructive critics.
And PNP President Mark Golding on Sunday intensified his criticism of the Holness administration's governance record, accusing it of attempting to dismantle key anti-corruption institutions, including the Integrity Commission and the Financial Investigations Division.
They're trying to dismantle the FID as well as the Integrity Commission by appointing persons who are not qualified and persons who have a clear conflict of interest and should not even be putting themselves forward for the position. And comrades, somebody sent me something tonight which I want to share with you because I thought it was quite significant. I'm going to read it. Happy Father's Day, comrade leader. I had a very interesting discussion with a friend of mine who is 81. He has voted for the Jamaica Labour Party for 4 decades. And his view is that not only is the JLP corrupt, but democracy is at stake. I am not voting for either the PNP nor the JLP. I am voting for Jamaica, and therefore I will vote for the PNP. So this JLP supporter is saying if he is going to choose Jamaica, and he intends to choose Jamaica, he'll choose Jamaica by voting for the People's National Party. And I say to all well-thinking Jamaicans, whether you are the PNP, JLP or no P, all well-thinking Jamaicans, we cannot afford to have our democracy dismantled by this government because they are running scared. They know the wrongs they have committed and they want to ensure that they are never held accountable for it. And Jamaica cannot afford to allow the hard-won gains of democracy, of freedom, of decency that our founding fathers and our forefathers fought so hard for to be dismantled and sacrificed on the altar of corruption and nepotism under this government.
The PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell was not to be left out. He has criticised Mr. Holness and Mr. McKenzie over their statements. He claims their comments expose what he calls a deliberate and accelerating drift towards autocracy.
I'm issuing a grave warning. Prime Minister Holness and his JLP cabinet are accelerating Jamaica's drift towards autocracy. Their recent actions reveal a deliberate, unmistakable pattern. The mask has fully slipped. The JLP leadership's conduct shows dangerous contempt for democracy when their deputy leader vows to never surrender Jamaica, framing the PNP not as legitimate competitors, but as an existential enemy that signals an intent for permanent rule, not democratic governance. And when the Prime Minister himself declares the JLP doesn't need the opposition for accountability, that dismisses Parliament's constitutional role. It rejects checks and balances. It's the language of a leader who believes he's beyond scrutiny, a hallmark of authoritarianism. This is a clear and present danger. The Holness Cabinet's actions are a systematic assault on the pillars of our free society. Therefore, the PNP will relentlessly challenge the autocratic trajectory using every constitutional means at our disposal. I urge civil society, the media, and every Jamaican who values fairness and accountability. Recognize this threat, stand firm. Jamaica's democracy must be defended.
More than half of Jamaicans say they would not leave the country of their birth. That's according to the latest RJR Gleaner commissioned Don Anderson poll. Of the 1,033 registered voters surveyed between May 18 and June 7, 56.8% said they would stay, while 43.2% expressed a willingness to migrate. The poll carries a margin of error of plus or minus 3%. Younger Jamaicans are more eager to leave, with 71.2% of those aged 18 to 24 indicating they would migrate, mostly to the United States, which ranked as the top destination, followed by Canada and the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, in assessing government performance, 29.2% of respondents said they could not identify a single area in which the Holness administration has excelled. Similarly, 24% could not name a specific failing. The pollster, Don Anderson, says responses often reflect political bias, with supporters of both major parties divided along familiar lines. Tensions between clergyman Jerffrey Shuttleworth and the Jamaica Baptist Union, JBU, have escalated sharply following the church group's near unanimous vote to strip him of his ministerial credentials. The June 11 decision bars Mr. Shuttleworth from exercising any authority over JBU-affiliated institutions, including the Tarrant Baptist Church in St. Andrew, where he has preached for over 17 years. But in a defiant sermon from the TBC pulpit on June 15, Mr. Shuttleworth lashed out at the JBU, seemingly accusing it of spiritual corruption and insisting that only God could revoke his calling.
And so, because they can't muzzle me, you're going to say you would render me persona non grata. The devil is a liar. Because you didn't call me in the first place. You did not empower me in the first place. You did not commission me in the first place. I have one boss, and that boss is God in Christ. So only he can hire and fire. No one else has that power or authority. So we get that clear. So I'm closing. So there are those who think that I'm going to go crawl up in some little corner and hide. Oh, and shed tears and say, oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh, my Lord, and so on. The devil is a liar. Hallelujah. What you have actually done is to pour fertilizer at my foot. What you have really done is to stir me up.
Mr. Shuttleworth and the JBU are also in a legal fight over TBC's $50 million property. A woman who claimed her life was shattered by a false positive HIV test has lost her lawsuit against a Clarendon-based medical lab. Indiana Prendergast and her partner Omar Willis sued Spalding's Diagnostics Medical Laboratory, alleging psychological harm and negligence after a 2010 test wrongly indicated she was HIV positive. But in a long-awaited ruling on June 3, Supreme Court Judge Chester Stamp dismissed the claim, saying the lab followed standard procedures and medical practices. He ruled there was no breach of duty and that the emotional distress suffered by the couple could not be blamed on the lab. Justice Stamp noted that false positives are a known possibility in preliminary HIV screenings and do not automatically prove negligence. The couple argued that delays and mishandling led to stigma and emotional trauma, but the judge said the lab did not improperly disclose or manage the results. A confirmatory test later showed Ms. Prendergast was HIV negative. Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis is standing by her report on the government's social benefit program following fierce criticism from Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness earlier this year. Dr. Holness, whose new social housing project was among the criticized initiatives, had labeled the findings as baseless, arguing that citizens accessing more than one benefit should not be viewed as duplicating services. But appearing before Parliament's Public Accounts Committee on Tuesday, Mrs. Monroe Ellis insisted that there are serious inefficiencies, largely due to the fragmentation of housing benefits across government. Her audit had identified several housing programs targeting poor Jamaicans spread across several ministries and departments.
I think that there are some benefits available that many taxpayers don't know about because the information is spread across central government. We're speaking, this report is speaking to the administration of social benefits. We did not assess the efficacy of the various programs, and I want that to be understood. We're speaking about the administration. It's a fact that there is duplication. It's a fact that there is overlapping. And it is a fact that there is a substantial cost for managing the delivery of the social benefit. And we spoke about one in relation to the Ministry of Local Government, and I guess we'll address that next week. So if you can improve the efficiency through, I heard the PS about the steering committee that meets, but that steering committee is not going to prevent fraud. It's the operational system, it's the database, it's the information system that is managing the process that will aid in that process.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Arlene Williams, told the committee that efforts are underway to streamline 2 separate housing programs, including revising operational manuals and mapping new workflows to address gaps. Dr. Holness is the portfolio minister for that ministry. Police in Portmore, St. Catherine are probing the death of 55-year-old Devon Cunningham, who reportedly fell from a ladder during strong winds on Monday. Mr. Cunningham was a contractor for a utility company. It's reported that he was running a wire when he fell. Residents recalled the powerful winds which the Meteorological Service later confirmed were caused by a squall line, a weather event marked by sudden wind surges, heavy rain and thunderstorms. The Jamaica Public Service Company reported that approximately 50,000 customers, about 7% of their customer base, experienced outages due to the squall. Damage was recorded across Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon and Manchester. A section of the roof at the Norman Gardens Clinic in St. Andrew was also lifted by the gusts. Outdoor activities were temporarily suspended at Kingston Freeport Terminal Limited after the weather event toppled several containers at the wharf. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. Follow us on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner, and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube page, turn on your notification, and subscribe today. I'm Jovan Johnson.